quality matchup following a pretty impressive one you just saw a moment ago. Mississippi State taking down Tennessee. It is Florida and it is Ole Miss in Oxford tonight. The Rebels on the board after Moussa Cisse, starting his first game as a Rebel, tips that one back in.
And that's good news right there for Ole Miss to see Moussa Cisse getting on the offensive glass, showing some physicality for the Rebels early on.
This should be a fun one to see. There is Todd Golden lead.
Well, second game in the season for both of these teams in conference play.
The Gators, Richard, as you know, have a lot of size. Samuel starting 5'4", Ole Miss. Morrell and Flanagan, they average combined more than 32 points per game. They each go for more than 16 a night. Jalen Brakefield has been on fire of late, and he hits the 18-footer to get his night start.
And he's a great complement to that backcourt. You talk about the efficiency that he's been playing with in recent games. When he's giving you big-time production, Ole Miss is hard to beat.
He's averaging close to 20 his last 5. There's a step back jumper on the baseline. That's Sion pulling, you know, he's very smooth, steady on the floor.
That was a lot of poise on that move, taking it into mid-range.
Okay, Brakefield said, I'll keep the pivot foot.
Jamin Brakefield, once again, you talk about great moves in the low post.
Looks like a goaltend, yeah.
And that's going to have to be a point of emphasis for Ole Miss.
Down with another rebound.
Tough shot from Morrell right there under 5 seconds. Might want to make sure you go right to your isolation game instead of bringing the pick and roll into the fold.
How about that length of Sharp? He deflected the pass. Flanagan picks it up and draws the foul. Offense this year.
Well, they play well off of each other.
Yeah.
You know, they're both really been fill it up when he needs to.
Richard, that duo, they both went for 24 in a game in which they had an 8-point lead at half.
Well, that was a game where Florida definitely controlled the game against the Cats all game long.
Oh, wow. How about the 7'6" Jamarion Sharp? So we've got a couple of blocks now, and that's Flanagan in attack mode again. It's 12-8 lead, make a 10-8 lead for Ole Miss.
That's beautiful end-to-end basketball. Jamarion Sharp rotating over with the rejection and turning defense into offense.
Sharp, very valuable player this year for Ole Miss due to the size of him for nearly 16 a game. Jamin Brakefield hit his first basket in the early minutes. Backing down Condon, turns, that one bounces through.
Beautiful patience in the low post. Turning towards the middle, kick back, fade away, and finding the bottom of the cup. When you give Jamin Brakefield some ability to operate in the low post, he can do damage.
Meanwhile, Will Richard comes away with the rebound for Florida.
Good job by Brakefield right there, stopping the transition of offense. Ole Miss going to have to do a much better job of getting back in transition defense because Florida's looking to run.
Clayton on the baseline. Okay, right, you mentioned Florida wants to run. Ole Miss likely to use a bit more of the shot clock.
Well, Ole Miss is going to have to make this game physical against Florida because Florida's trying to play in space and get out and do things like that.
Like Walter Clayton Jr.
He's way back home, but you know he's been well coached when he's playing for the legend Rick Pitino, but a tough-minded guard.
Morrell down with the Clayton miss. In a hurry to the bucket. Got it. Matt Morrell. Flanagan into the paint. Off balance that time on the jumper.
Absolutely. As you mentioned, Ole Miss with some really good wins and some close wins throughout the duration of this season.
Yeah, a lot of very thrilling ones a year for him. He's only gotten better as each year has unfolded. Been valuable in so many other areas on the floor. Great rebounder. Matter of fact, he leads the league in rebounding his first year with Florida after coming over from Seton Hall.
He's definitely amongst the elite bigs in the conference, playing really good. Did not have one of his typical performances last outing against the Tennessee Volunteers, but he's looking to be a little bit more aggressive today.
Murray, that's Brandon Murray.
Clean looks on the last few possessions, not able to make one drop.
And they've missed their last 3. Started 7 of 12 from the field. There's Jalen Murray. He's been Ole Miss's starting point guard this year. Follows his own miss. Nicely done. They have been one of the best shot blocking teams in the nation. Take off and a lay-in at the rim. Nice. That's a great option for Ole Miss. That is in Flanagan's repertoire. Richard, the Rebels are on a little 6-0 run. Brakefield floats it up, count it, and the foul. Brakefield at the line for one more.
Such a crafty game he has.
19.5 a game, his last 5.
Shooting 67.
No. He passed up the threes, the noted marksman, and instead took the jumper on the baseline. Florida looking to put an end to this run. Pullen lobs it up, hand logs, and it was caught too far underneath, but he stuck with it.
Wow, but did you see the block by Jalen Murray coming in from the backside, V backing in and rejecting it?
This is his shot. Murray, book it.
Walk-up threes. Get a stop here. Doing a really good job defensively, trying to keep Florida out of the paint.
Clayton, the reverse, Sharp. Oh, just erases that one. Ole Miss with some numbers. Murray, one dribble, puts it up, and puts it in. Beard said he was undoubtedly one of the most overlooked players perhaps in the portal. He was happy to take him and bring him on to run the show here and basically become a point guard, a true point guard for the first time in his career. Oh, big time lob up to Samuel.
Didn't shoot from the outside, but you know, a tough kid coming from New York, coach from Shaheen Holloway playing at when he was at St. Peter's, now at Seton Hall. So he understands how to play quality point guard position because he's learned from one of the better ones in the game.
Couple of high-level teams. Backdoor cut, that pass taken away by Morrell.
Good recognition by Matthew Morrell.
Murray, yeah, triple is good. You know, Matt Morrell defensively has always been so strong, so his defense leads to the offense.
It is, and those are one of those things that kills coaches. Head coach Todd Golden, you got the design play from the backdoor lay on the counterattack, and Florida's able to get a bucket.
Nice shot making in this first half, Richard. Both teams better than 45% from the floor. Brakefield, close range look, got it.
Oh, and he's looking at him saying, you're too little. He's got his man on an island, and they have the matchup they want. Give the ball to Jamin Brakefield on that block and let him operate.
He's got 12. It's Ole Miss by 7. Looking for a big signature conference win. Clayton draws the foul, and he's going to the free throw line for Thursday on the SEC Network. Also streaming live on
our country. Rakia Jackson can do it on the inside, scoring.
13-12 lead, Richard. And then Ole Miss went on a 17-3 run after that. Ole Miss has had a lead ever since. Morrell underneath. Yeah, stays composed and scores.
Composed is exactly the word. Calls a good bounce there on the ball being saved out on the baseline. Good shot fake, got his defender up in the air and finishes.
Condon spins, going up on Brakefield, got it to go.
Good patience there on the blow block. Reverse layup, and then understanding time and situation with the shot clock going down and meeting him on the jump.
Murray, remember, this is only just his 6th game. He's one of those 2-time transfers, became eligible in mid-December. Brakefield.
What do you do right now for the Rebels?
This is a much better shot-making half for Ole Miss. They were very cold in that first half Saturday against Tennessee. Went into the break down 9. They ultimately lost by 26. It was quite a lopsided one. Clayton off the window. The Gators had a 5-point lead a few minutes into the game. And then Ole Miss went on a dramatic 17-3 run to take a lead. And they have held that 5th-year senior from California. A linebacker size.
It's the maturity.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times when you try to get into the portal, it benefits you to get older and to get older quickly.
Yeah.
If you can go and get a veteran player who can come in and bring some poise, some experience, understands pressure moments, then it can make your team better instantly. And pulling in as an example of that, Todd Golden's done a good job of utilizing the portal to get some quality players.
Flanagan has not been
have more scoring depth. It only makes you more dangerous. Runs.
It really is eerie. They get to the free throw line at pretty low, relatively speaking. However, Condon gets it done, and so it's a 2-point game. Morrell, jump stop, leaner, hits the fall away. That's Matt Morrell doing some work in the paint. Condon got the size advantage, trying to spin on Morrell. Murray whistled for the reach in. And so Condon goes back to the free throw line. That's the second on Murray. Only getting their hands on loose basketballs. That one's poked.
Times when players have the size advantage, do not have the low post back-to-the-back ability to take advantage of it. But you can see when Florida gets the mismatch, they throw it inside.
Flanagan attacks. And he's going to the free throw line. He earns Saturday 6 Eastern here on the network. Auburn
with studio, Janai Broom, one of the premier low.
the same thing. They have revamped rosters. This year did some fine work in the offseason. Condon, he's always in the right spot at the right time. Could not put that one back up and in. And there's a foul.
And a good call there. Called for
Pennsylvania. You know, underrated three-star
players who come in and do a lot of the dirty work.
He's got a lot. Richard Hendricks.
Really?
I just found out about in that show. Murray off the window. That one falls through. Brandon Murray has given Chris Beard some really valuable minutes in his first half.
Offensively, defensively, stepped in and doing a really good job.
6-point lead, 7 seconds first half. One last shot for Florida. Pulling high off the glass. Got it to go. Florida goes into the breakdown 4. Pulling with a veteran move to get one more. However,
Spot where they are when they dig down on you, dime the player from the outside, create an advantage for another rotation and an easy basket.
turnover is not a huge factor in that first half. 7 for Florida, that's all. You know, Ole Miss only gave it away twice in that first half. They're one of the best teams in the country at taking care of the basketball. And look out if Matt Morrell starts hitting his silky smooth jumper.
And that was a nice Jay, stepping back into the mid-range. That's a very, very tough shot.
Let's see how Florida responds. Panlocked in, big-to-big pass. That's Samuel.
And that's how you play right there in the low post. He makes sure to have a smaller player, Flanagan, on him. He did his work, pushed him up the lane, held his position while the ball was in flight and let it drop into his hand, and they got the easy deuce.
That's a deep post catch there for Cisse. That was good night. Turnover. Brakefield, the throwdown.
Brakefield. Beautiful recognition, doubling back with the pick and the slam.
Ole Miss has opened up its largest lead of the evening. It's an 8-point cushion. So they start the second half with a couple of baskets. Clayton gets fouled, and he's going to the line for one more.
Plays it in. Cisse with the duck in on the other side. Brakefield, skill set when it applies.
There's a surplus of the aforementioned veterans on the floor. All those players you mentioned, seniors, fifth years. A lot of experience on both ends, on both teams. Oh, that's Flanagan from beyond the arc and has not made one today. Nice shot by Pullen to jar that one free. That's the third Ole Miss turnover. Pullen blocked. What's the call? Goaltend. Brian Dorsey says goaltend. Cisse pulls down his third rebound. Brakefield at the right-hand dribble. Trying to go to work on Hanlongton. Backs him down. Got him up in the air. Count it.
Oh.
No. Is it before the shot? Count the basket.
And one. It's outstanding. Jalen Brakefield's letting you know.
I second-guess myself. If it's the midway mark of the first. Walter Clayton Jr. got his own miss. One dribble. Has it underneath. Into Cisse. Tapped back up by Hanlongton. One more. Ole Miss has it. Murray on the run out. Brakefield calling for it. Murray into the paint. Brakefield sets the feet. Yeah! Jamin Brakefield giving him a little MJ shrug.
Who knew? Jamin Brakefield knew. Has the hot hand, stroking it from deep.
Clayton responds with a critical triple, and Todd Gordon is going to say enough of this board. Caught underneath, patiently waiting for something to develop. Ole Miss trying to cash in after the takeaway. This is Morrell. That's hacked. Going to the line for two. Staff folks underneath the basket. We're Whitehaven High. It's right outside of Memphis. Bulls nursing their largest lead of the evening in a critical early conference season battle between Florida and Ole Miss. Flanagan, that's good. Pretty fall away.
There he is.
7th straight game. And Florida is searching for answers. Sharp! D-nice pulling. Ole Miss has numbers. Murray into the paint. Over to Morrell. Puts it up. Puts it in. A big triple.
The entire team.
Now look at that. 8 blocks as a team tonight. 8. And Sharp has 4. He's the NCAA.
And look at Sharp out here playing defense and here at the half court.
Let's see.
Oh,
he gets another. There's a foul, though. Boy, and Zion Pullen is going to the line. Jamari's leader of all players playing college basketball right now. But he's only played 3 years of Division I, so in only after 2.5 years, he is the active blocks leader. The folks behind him have played 4 or 5 years. Murray lob it up. Oh, the sledgehammer from Sharp!
But when he can be active on the defensive end, blocking shots, rebounding, running the floor, setting quality screens, he becomes a really good big attribute to the depth of this Ole Miss team. And when he can get rewarded after his hard work and get a dunk like that, this team has a philosophy, believes that coaches should coach and players play. And he lets them figure it out. And you can see the veteran play showing up for the Ole Miss Rebels.
Indeed. Meanwhile, Sharp picks up his 5th block. Aberdeen falls. Morrell buries it. It is a second-half explosion for the Rebels. They have completely taken this one over. Aberdeen into the paint, lays it up. Not that time. Condon, the follow, tip back in. And it looked like Will Richard was the one who improvised, uses the screen, dribbled it off his foot. Houck up ahead to Richard. Takes it in. Condon, he gets denied by Sharp. Another rejection. Condon sticks with it, and the foul. Again, in the win against Memphis, they blocked 9 against NC.
This man is switching on defense, coming out on guards, out on the perimeter. He's hedging on the pick and rolls, and he's recovering, coming from the weak side to block shots in chase down block fashion. So it's not just about him just standing there. It's the range that he really has, and that's things figured up. Florida has to try to regroup to see if you can get this game under 10 and see if you can get back in it.
But after the Morrell free throws, it's a 17-point cushion again for the Rebels. Pullen finds the cutter. Flanagan gets up to turn that one away. That's Houck on the putback.
With the putback, but still, you find yourself down. Houck scores a basket, you jump in a little bit of pressure, join them with the pressure. Turn up the intensity a little bit, make Ole Miss a little bit more uncomfortable and not let them line up easy jab step jumpers like that. And Morrell is styling on you.
Matt Morrell feeling it. It's another 20-point game for Morrell. Clayton puts that one up with the right hand.
Opportunity to extend their lead. It's the little things. If you want to become a really good basketball team, it's the little things. When you're losing in the game, you got to take the physical punch on. You got to put a body on someone.
Oh, Murray, pretty finds.
You got Cisse for the easy jam. That's when you have to set a tone. You got to put him on the free throw line, not allow a man to get an easy slam dunk of such.
Clayton offline of the triple. Houck bumps into Cisse and draws the foul.
You're talking about a guy who's shooting 26% from the free throw line.
Just picked up his 4th foul. So he's been a menace in the paint. The last few minutes he checks out. Jamarion Sharp back in. So the other 7-footer enters the game. It is an 18-point hole for Florida. And they have 8:20 to try to dig themselves out of it. It's a reach-in foul on Houck. We haven't seen much today. Riley Kugel only played 4 minutes in the first half. Your average Wednesday night in Oxford. Pressure. Condon got his hands on it. Brakefield stuck with it. Sharp! The monster jam! And the threw down the monster dunk, got fast, yeah, but 6 boards and 6 blocks as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's being impactful in so many ways, and many of the players on this Ole Miss team. You talk about Brandon Murray has done a tremendous job coming in, playing sticky defense, blocking shots of his own, timely rebounds, and easy putbacks when you need them. You talk about being stars, and this had their wake-up call when they went to Knoxville. This sense of urgency, and the Rebels have done an outstanding job of coming out here and answering. Quite frankly, physically, Tennessee beat them up. But it's been a different show tonight for the Rebels, and they've responded very well.
Right, Ole Miss has got its hands on the ball quite often. Oh my God! Come on now, Tamarion Sharp. I mean, come on. Look out in the first row.
Look at this. Just take a look at it.
Not that way.
Now that's just what you call a rejection.
That's mean.
To the first row.
That is mean. So it's a new season high. 7 blocks for Tamarion Sharp.
The depth that you want to have on the roster.
Tamarion Sharp. You might think you have something. You're going to have floor. Brandon Murray just limped off the floor for Ole Miss. He was kind of hopping around at the end of the recent sequence on the other end of the floor. Looked like he was favoring his right foot. Murray kind of hypnotized his defender that time. Lead back.
Got the defender on his back hip. Changed his pace and dropped a nice teardrop in.
Yeah, both Murrays have played really well tonight. Their decision-making key, especially Jalen's. Houck goes up, got it, and the foul. Good Nate. Rim protector tonight, along with Sharp. Field on the attack again. Sharp stretching it, trying to show his range.
Yeah, I wanted to see if the big fella was going to stick him one.
Yeah.
Stick that.
Oh my goodness!
My goodness, you talk about Sharp. Check out, watch out. You have to change up your game plan and how you're going to attack it if you're an offensive player.
That was an official block, so Flanagan with another. This is 14 blocks. Sharp is a menace. I mean, this is getting out of hand now.
Yeah, now he's just showing out. See, that's what you want to see right there. 7'5". You want to play like you're 7'5", and he's doing just that.
Sharp got it. You can count the basket, and he's going to the free throw line. If you're playing in a game like this, it's
3-possession run. So it's a lot of ball game to play, but you have to continue to play the right way and have to hustle every single play and try to chip your way at it and see what happens.
Morrell, step back jumper, that's good. Matt Morrell has really turned it on in this second half. 4.5 to go. And Ole Miss is very much in position to pick up its first conference win. And they would certainly be doing it in overwhelming fashion here at home. Zion pulling right to the rack for another deuce. So Florida has not been able to break it, maybe break through and get it back to that number you mentioned, around 10.
Oh.
Brakefield! Oh my goodness! I mean, what's a clean look at this point in this game? Clayton, no whistle, and Florida gets a new 20. Zion pulling now, goes with a floater over Sharp, comes away with the rebounds. He has been 2 rows off the court on the other end of the floor. I mean, some of these are chase down blocks, some of these are well timed.
Mentality that you have, first and foremost, to be a good shot blocker, you have to have an attitude. You have to want to go for the ball, but it's also understanding positioning on the court.
Yeah, Samuel, if you're Samuel saying, hey, and Todd Golden got teed up there on the end of that sequence. So Tyrese Samuel, you saw him there throw his hands up. He wanted a foul on that sequence, and so did Todd Golden. And he let Todd Austin know it.
Definitely can see the frustration of head Florida play and attack it. If you're Tyrese Samuel.
Sometimes they're misleading, but in that preseason poll, Ole Miss was projected to finish near the bottom. The media that cover the league had them slotted 10th. And that just felt like a glaring one that felt a bit low, considering the veterans that Ole Miss was bringing back. That was likely to exceed the expectations, and here they are. They're on the verge of starting 14-1 with a pretty resounding SEC win, 2 minutes and 20 seconds away. Murray knocks it down.
Good to see Murray back on the court, knocking down a nice soft jumper. But you talk about the preseason poll, and a lot of times it's a field based on, how the coaches feel. It's not just a slight at Ole Miss, because the other teams that are picked ahead of them have veteran teams and a lot of talent as well. So this is going to be a tough league. I'm here to let everybody know that we're in the building too.
Condon trying to follow his miss. Handlogged and comes away with it. Aberdeen for 3. That's Denzel Aberdeen. Conference win. let's backtrack a few days. The Saturday loss to Tennessee, in which Ole Miss was down from really the opening tap. They were down 18-6 in the opening minutes of that game. They were down by as many as 30. It was a wake-up call, perhaps, that second half. That maybe.
But tonight they were able to get back in practice, and you can see what they're able to do. But a lot of season left for both of these teams. Everyone have to continue to grow. You know, by my estimate, I truly think that it's a wide open league. You know, and a tough team to beat. Kentucky in their youth has been playing well. Alabama, when they're shooting threes, they can beat anyone. So, you know, it's a big-time game for Ole Miss, and now they see that they're going to try to join the ranks as well.
We got 100 plus inside the pavilion tonight.
And the last time that Ole Miss has had 100 in SEC play was March 3rd, 2001 in a 105.
Man, you haven't even come through this league yet.
But I've been watching this league a long time. Against Alabama, 2001.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
101 in a second half, Richard. This is astonishing. Ole Miss has shot
from alley-oops and rejecting ball screens and driving open side. Is a good team. They have a lot of talent, as you mentioned. But they're going to have third. And they're going to have to go back and regroup and know that the next game is going to be a game that they're going to have to be much more physical, much more aggressive on the defensive end, and much more pressure, and throw back some of those opening blows to their opponent as well.
Ole Miss gets Vanderbilt in this building on Saturday before taking to the road where it'll face LSU and Auburn. There's a couple of teams that have started 2-0 in league play. Ole Miss scores 100 in an SEC game for the first time in more than 20 years. A resounding 103-85 beatdown over Florida tonight. Jamin Brakefield goes for a career-high 28. Matt Morrell scores 23. Jamarion Sharp blocked 178 shots. What else am I missing?
Outstanding all-around defense by several of these players on Ole Miss. They definitely wanted this victory play.